66 million years ago, the worst day in Earth's history began. A killer from the skies, traveling at 3 times the speed of a bullet, struck our planet. The impact unleashed more power than 10 billion atomic bombs combined. For over 20 minutes, molten debris rained from the heavens, igniting global wildfires. The Earth turned into a furnace hotter than any oven. Massive earthquakes shook continents, and volcanic eruptions blanketed India in rivers of lava. Dark clouds covered the Earth, blocking sunlight for up to 15 years. Frozen wastelands replaced burned forests, and in the aftermath, 75% of all species vanished. Yet a few lucky survivors endured. Crocodiles hid in rivers, feeding on drifting carcasses. Beaked birds outlived their toothed cousins, thanks to seeds. And tiny shrew-like mammals, our ancestors, survived by hiding in the shadows. What if this catastrophe struck again? If a dinosaur-killing asteroid crashed to Earth today, would we be as lucky? The day the dinosaurs died began like any other in the late Cretaceous period. They had ruled the planet for over 145 million years, but their time was running out. Around 66 million years ago, a 6-mile-wide space rock entered Earth's atmosphere. Traveling at 43,000 miles per hour, it hurtled toward the Yucatan Peninsula in what is now Mexico. At first it looked like a bright star, but soon it blazed across the sky like a fiery torch. When the asteroid struck, the impact unleashed an energy equivalent to 100 trillion tons of TNT, 300 times the power of the bombs dropped on Hiroshima. A massive shockwave blasted outward at 400 kilometers per second. That's 3 times the speed of sound. Trees were uprooted and houses flattened in a giant expanding bubble of fire. The heat was so intense that anything that wasn't vaporized turned to glass. But the real devastation began after the impact. Molten debris from the collision shot into the atmosphere. The dust formed a thick cloud that blotted out the sun. Days turned into weeks, then months, as sunlight struggled to penetrate the haze. Temperatures plummeted across the globe. Plants froze and died. Creatures that relied on photosynthesis perished. It was a mass extinction unlike any other. Marine life was wiped out first. Within hours, a giant tsunami wave spread across the oceans. Fish suffocated as the water boiled. Coral reefs bleached and died. Most marine reptiles and all sea turtles vanished. Life in the oceans was almost extinct within days. On land, creatures suffered too. Birds and small mammals retreated to caves and burrows. Amphibians desiccated as their moisture-retaining skin dried out. Herbivores starved as plants withered and froze. Carnivores followed them into extinction. Dinosaurs, crocodilians, flying reptiles all vanished. Only the toughest survivors remained. Many lived in water like crocodiles, which used river systems to hide from the chaos above. Birds survived by gorging on seeds, which remained viable in the cold. Tiny proto-wombats and shrew-like beasts huddled in burrows, surviving on insects and fungi. This was the largest mass extinction in history, the end of the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event. It wiped out around 75% of all species. Yet somehow life endured. But if it happened again, would we be so lucky? Imagine the asteroid striking in the same spot, the Yucatan Peninsula. Within seconds, Central America and the southern United States would be vaporized. Over 100 million lives lost instantly. The sound alone would kill anyone within 1,500 kilometers. Earthquakes of magnitude 9 to 11 would ripple across the planet. Tsunamis towering 100 meters would swallow coastlines and surge 100 kilometers inland, drowning billions. Fiery debris would rain down. Acid storms would poison rivers, and the dust cloud would trigger global famine. Could humanity survive? When news broke of the impending impact, panic would grip the world. Governments would scramble, issuing dire warnings and ordering evacuations. Billions would flee inland or seek shelter underground. Around the world, millions of fallout shelters and underground cities exist. Derinkuyu in Turkey, Nushabad in Iran, vast networks in Switzerland. Some might protect billions, but only for a short time. Most of these shelters were built during the Cold War to protect against nuclear bombs. They offer safety from the initial blast and radiation, but they lack the resources for long-term survival. Sealed fallout shelters could maintain breathable air and protect against radiation for months. But supplies would eventually run out. Their inhabitants would face starvation, illness, and death unless rescued. High-tech doomsday bunkers might fare better. Built to withstand nuclear blasts, they feature advanced filtration systems and power sources to last for years. Raven Rock in Pennsylvania is one of the most secure facilities in the U.S., able to house 2,000 people for years. It has backup generators, water filtration, and airtight seals. But with an incoming asteroid, even Raven Rock wouldn't be safe from fiery debris. Some survivors would huddle in luxury bunkers. The rich could hide in New Zealand's resizing mask, an underground complex designed to withstand multiple nuclear blasts. Or they might head to Vivos foxholes, $500 doomsday bunkers scattered across South Dakota's Black Hills. But most wouldn't be so lucky. After the impact, most cities would be buried under debris. Buildings crumbled, roads buckled, and bridges collapsed. Giant sinkholes swallowed entire city blocks. Rivers and lakes turned to glass. Toxic fumes poisoned the air, making breathing impossible. Fires raged across the landscape, turning night into day. As the fires burned out, toxic ash fell from the sky, killing everything in sight. But even without the fires, darkness would smother the world. For years, the dust cloud blocked out the sun. Temperatures plummeted. Rain turned to ice. Plants withered and died. Without functioning roots, forests became frozen deserts. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's fire, there's opportunity. In the long term, some might adapt. After the impact, large animals went extinct first. But smaller species survived. Like rodents, amphibians, and reptiles, humans would face the same fate. Those who survived the initial blast would struggle to adapt to the new environment, but fungus could thrive in fire-damaged soils, providing a source of food. Algae farms could feed millions sheltering in underground cities. Geothermal energy in Iceland could power settlements without sunlight. Decades after the impact, humans might scrape by, rationing, scavenging, and inventing new agriculture. But our world would never be the same. We'd be fighting for every scrap of food, struggling to grow crops in the cold. Entire industries would disappear, like solar panel manufacturing. But in the long run, life always finds a way. The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs also gave mammals a chance. It cleared the way for primates to evolve, and 66 million years later, gave rise to humans. But what if we prevented Armageddon? What if we discovered the asteroid hurtling toward Earth early enough to stop it? NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test launched in November 2021 to take on an asteroid named Dimorphos. In September 2022, it smashed into the smaller rock at 14,000 kilometers per hour. The impact shifted the asteroid's orbit by 32 minutes. It was a huge success, proving we can defend Earth from potential killers. But the dinosaur-killing rock was over 10 kilometers wide. Deflecting such a monster would require far more force. One idea involves using lasers to vaporize part of the asteroid, creating thrust and altering its course. Others suggest attaching a giant sail to the asteroid, allowing sunlight to push it away from Earth. Nuclear explosives are another option. But detonating them near an asteroid would require robots capable of withstanding incredible heat and radiation. So far, we haven't found any huge asteroids on a collision course with Earth, but astronomers have mapped most rocks in our solar system. An enormous interstellar visitor could strike without warning. If it did, we'd need a global, united effort to stand any chance of survival. Would we unite, or would we fall like the dinosaurs? How would you survive the end of the world? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. This is your channel name. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more journeys into history and science.